Hello everyone and welcome back to Apothecary Diaries. This is episodes 5 and 6 of season 2. I'm looking forward to this. Last episode we basically we learned about the moon fairy. And you know that the old lady that we have known this whole entire time was once known as the moon fairy. She can do that no longer, so we need a new moon fairy. And as far as I can tell, the implication was that Jinshi is like the right height and prettiness required for it. So I think all you would need is some makeup and some boobage and some dress, and he's probably set, and some dancing skills probably. And also he needs to be able to cry pearls or something. I forgot exactly what that was, but something crazy like that. But yeah, I'm very excited to jump into this. I've enjoyed everything of this show, but I've been enjoying this season so far. I feel like it's been much more of a calm season so far. Like, we're just kind of hanging out. I mean, there's still been the mystery going on. There's still been, you know, deaths and stuff, but I just feel like overall that like we're at a much chiller place right now. So I wonder, like, I mean, it could just be, you know, this is what happens with new seasons generally. Like, once you finish the big arc, you go back into like chill stuff at the start. But I just feel like since season 1 started with her getting kidnapped, it's like I kind of remember it at the start as like, oh my god, there's like, she was kidnapped, and also like I'm trying to figure out like what, you know, like what the status quo of the show is going to be, and people are dying here, and so it was kind of crazy. But start of season 2, it's been like pretty relaxed overall, I think. So yeah, anyway, let's just jump into it and see. This is Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 5. Make sure to support the video. Go to my Patreon account if you want not only the full-length reaction, but early access. You can get Episodes 7 and 8 on there right now, so go check that out. Yeah, also check out my Jent Watches One Piece channel if you like One Piece. Here we go, Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episode 5.
The farther and wider they spread,
the more crazy they get, yeah.
Sometimes a grand story, similar in nature to mythology and fables.
Moon
I'm
fairy.
leaving walls and underground waterway that they left behind.
Guess who?
Well, the subtitles are telling me.
Good job.
Yay!
So was it my voice?
She's so friendly.
Or was it her hand?
Inshallah, and our
Can you
gossip
recognize her
buddies.
hand?
What brings you all the way out here?
Who, me? I just had some business to tend to.
That's not very specific.
Stealing food?
Not today. Check this. What a cutie, right?
You know, some people might consider this harassment.
I
You
would.
should be careful.
They don't sound fun to be around at all.
Well, sad to know she would hate
So
me, but
amazing.
I guess some insects came in along with foreign goods and found a new home.
that's
They'll become
disgusting.
butterflies.
Good guess. They're moths.
I wonder if they were around when the old lady danced.
I think so. I heard they die as soon as they mature because they're not able to eat.
What?
Question.
That sucks.
Can you tell?
I've been able to for the most part.
Shisui, there is something I'm going to need your help with.
Yes.
There's a chance this might actually
So
work.
you're gonna
Mama?
make moths come for the performance? They're building the stage?
The rear palace is usually off limits to men, but a special exception was made to allow male officials to attend. The high-ranking concubines also
There's the
joined.
2 women.
Guests enjoyed the shows from within their carriages. Mostly out of concern
There
for
they
young
are.
boys attracting unwanted attention. Talk about confident. The lady further away looks like the quiet type,
Wow.
while the one
You can
near
tell that?
acts like she's the most attractive woman in the world.
I mean, there is
No
a
denying them
slight
in terms
difference
of
in their
beauty.
expression. No.
Perhaps it's not up to their standards.
They're
It is
waiting.
odd just how much they look alike. I heard they're cousins with a shared grandfather, but they're more like twins.
Yeah, that's what I was
If these
thinking.
two tried.
What's she doing?
We're here at this splendid banquet, only to be seated so far apart. I
Damn.
would like to come closer so that we
Oh,
may
she's getting aggressive.
Yikes. What a tense situation. This whole trip is just a political machination aiming for their hands in marriage.
Yeah, just wooing him.
Let's back to the carriage. They've put on this show.
Crisis barely averted.
She's
that was
pissed.
scary. I wonder if the mirrors they sent to the 4 concubines were simply a provocation. Regardless, I have my job. Time for the moon fairy to appear.
Okay. Oh, I can't believe that's gonna be this episode. That's wild.
How is it going?
I have done the best I can. Please forgive me.
What? Why? What does it look?
All right, it's showtime.
Oh my gosh, they're hiding it.
The 4 concubines couldn't even emerge from their blinds. The moon fairy grandfather saw probably wasn't that impressive either.
Damn.
Could you imagine if
They
the
leaving?
Emperor had desired the 2 of us right away?
Oh. Here we go. Wow.
This guy.
Oh, wow. I'm trying to see him, but I'm trying not to see Jinchi. Wow.
Stunning.
They're obsessed.
50 years ago.
Wow. Impressive.
Diana.
Is that the shot in the opening? Pointing
I
up
may
to the
have messed
sky?
up the pronunciation. Pulling a dark cloth off of a person creates the impression that they've suddenly appeared.
Mm-hmm.
It was our friends, though, that tied everything together. Turns out the glowing lights depicted in the painting of the old lady were actually mature moths. And
Yeah.
all because of a mean prank.
Managed to enact their petty vengeance on me that night, rubbing insect carcasses into the fabric of my robe.
Sense in order to attract the opposite sex.
Right, so it actually just
The
attracted
male
these
moths must have been
beautiful...
attracted to the old lady because of the smell. That glow
Wow.
made her appear like a moon fairy.
That's
The
kind of
insect.
crazy.
I need to be sure to thank Shisui and Shaolan for all their help. So they could step in if something happened. It's best for certain eyes only. That face has the power to bring a country to ruin.
I did everything you asked, and you just ignore me?
You did a great job, Jinchi.
Thank you, Ma. Swimming to the opposite shore in that outfit must have been difficult.
Damn, really?
Please tell me it all worked.
That
Indeed.
sucks. It would have been
As far
cold
what
as
the young
fuck.
boys wish to see.
Good then. Well, I've done my part. Now would somebody dry my hair?
He's in a bad mood, understandably so.
As if he couldn't do this himself.
No, you owe him right now.
All right. Fine.
What? What?
Oh, Maomao! I'm about to head off to school.
So,
Yes! The
he ended
penmanship
up actually
school.
following through.
Or the
I am proud
vocational
to be the
training or
first
whatever
generation to
they're
go.
calling it.
Anyway, I need to run off.
I'm
Go
so
learn
proud of
a
you.
But can be poisonous when combined. Who conspired to get those brought into the rear palace in the first place?
I had forgotten about this.
I'm looking.
Given the influence her family exerts, concubine Lowland should be the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Concubine LIHUA ranks second in terms of family control,
Okay.
but only because she's maternally related to the Emperor. But when she recovered, the Emperor still loved her.
And she's, yeah, beautiful and
On
awesome.
the other hand, concubine Lishu's family ascended to power in recent generations. Unfortunately for them, the current
Emperor doesn't
prefers
care
his
for
women
her.
more voluptuous.
Yep.
After concubine Adwa left, he hasn't laid a hand on her.
Yeah, makes sense.
Indeed, concubine Gyokyo is very clearly his favorite.
She's my favorite
In
too.
addition to Princess Lingli, she's pregnant with another child from the Emperor. Who was behind the previous poisoning attempt on concubine Gyokyo while she was pregnant with Princess Lingli? Where did she learn about different kinds of poisons? Suire. They never found out what happened to her.
Yeah,
But
that's
why?
still an
For
open
what
open
reason?
case.
And I'm only a taster, so there's no point in obsessing over this.
You're not only a taster,
So
you're the
what?
resident
Get off
Batman.
of things. What? All I did was push them around a little. I I had no idea there was a place like this on the north side.
Huh.
Fortunately, it doesn't seem too severe. Make sure you don't push yourself for the next couple days, and it should clear up.
Good.
That all?
Could I stay here overnight just to be safe?
Come on, this way.
Well, she seems
She
very
seems
put
much
out
more professional than
by
the
it.
quack.
That's
and
true,
her
though.
diagnosis is sound.
I really do detest this smell.
That is the scent of alcohol, which means this place is quite often disinfected.
Which is good.
Lots of
It's a good
windows for
sign.
good ventilation. The lack of ornamentation makes it easier to clean. Seems like the perfect place to recover.
Yeah, this is well done.
So this is where they quarantine ladies in waiting who aren't feeling well.
Somewhere to be, little one. Assisting the sick.
Grabbing her
girl
like a
out of
cat.
doing your work. You wish to fold all this laundry for us.
I really must be off. She's more or less forced out. But I guess they need clinic workers who have experience and knowledge.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
some stay
It's a
longer.
good place to have them, honestly. Oh, hey,
You
Gingy.
shouldn't walk around while talking to yourself. Or
Shit,
you'll
that's
fall.
what she does all
So
the
what was I
time.
saying?
I know we don't have any business, but what's wrong with us talking if we cross paths?
To be honest, I may not have been paying that much attention. What with being sold off all of a sudden. It's happened before too, but he always gets melancholy every time he hears that story.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't want to confront
I
the
was surprised to
darkness of
find
her
it
being
cleaner and more
here.
efficient than I expected.
Treating a few scratches isn't an issue, but no one else is permitted to treat major injuries.
That sucks.
Additionally,
So that explains the lack of any medicinal smells at the clinic. Oh, what about the times I broke that rule?
We simply have chosen to look.
Yeah, you've been
Sounds
breaking.
convoluted. There has
breaking
to
a
be
bit of
more
a
to this
law.
backstory. Sooner or later, we'll be understaffed. Taking Master Jinchi's age into account, the band must have come right around when he got the procedure done. How tragic.
Maybe you don't have to take that
Only
into
he
account.
waited a few more years.
What's that?
Did I just say that out loud? If I invented a drug that made you-know-whats grow back, I'd be rich.
That would be a crazy drug.
I want the truth. She secretly makes concoctions, yes?
Yeah. Oh, that's the end of that episode. All right, very nice episode. I was surprised that we got the my hair right now. I was surprised that we got the moon fairy stuff happening in this episode. Like, and not only this episode, the first half of this episode. Like, I thought this episode would be us preparing like Jinshi for the moon fairy stuff, you know, and like having to figure out more stuff about the moon fairy and how all of that works and stuff. But no, I mean, it kind of cut to it and then like explained in retrospect some of the stuff that we needed to know, which is good. I'm glad they did that. I thought that was a good choice, because sometimes like I will expect a show to be going a certain way, but while I'm thinking that, I'm also like, okay, so this episode's gonna be them figuring stuff out, and the next episode's gonna be the moon fairy stuff and whatever, and like, you know, I'm kind of like already writing this first episode off as like it's not gonna be as interesting, but so when the show's just like, you know, go to the parts that we like, I think that's really cool. I think that's really great. So I'm very happy that that this show did that, because it was great to watch the moon fairy stuff immediately come to fruition. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see the moon fairy dance and stuff did end up being very effective and cool. I was trying to, as it was happening, like, I was trying to watch it from the perspective of someone who thinks that this is like a mysterious woman, you know, like someone who doesn't know Jinshi. So I was like really trying to see Jinshi as not Jinshi, as like a mysterious woman, you know. And it was very difficult because you can just see Jinshi's like expression, and you can just see pure Jinshi in it. But I wonder if you showed that scene to a person who doesn't watch Apothecary Diaries out of context, does that scene, like, do they think that's like a pretty woman You know, like it does it work? Because I'm not sure. Like us knowing Jinshi, we associate his features with a male character, and like it's like we're already locked into that. It's like in something like ReZero with Felix. Felix is a guy, but his design is extremely feminine, and his voice actor is a woman. So like you can look and listen to Felix, and like the first time, like the whole idea is the first time you're supposed to think that Felix is a woman, right? And then you find out that Felix is a boy, right? But then, as the series goes on, Felix's design and voice hasn't changed. They're still both extremely feminine, right? It's still like the exact same as it was at the start of the series. But I don't see Felix as a woman at all, ever, really, at all. I look at Felix and I see a guy, and when I hear Felix, I'm hearing a guy. So and I mean, gender's a social construct, it doesn't matter. But the point is, like, my brain changes over time. You can train your brain. I mean, that's thank goodness that we can, because it would be very hard to like, when someone comes out as transgender, to like adjust your mind if our brain was less receptive to that. But you can train your brain to do it, which is good, because I do that with my trans friends, and it's the same with my trans friends. But I didn't want to use an example of real life people. But yeah, you train your brain, and then you do genuinely start seeing them as the other gender. So the reason I'm saying that is because I look at Jinshi. I mean, he is a guy, and he does look like a guy. Like it's not like I started this series and thought Jinshi was a woman, but like, I'm just saying, my brain is so locked into, like, this is Jinshi, he's a man, that that like watching that scene, that's all I could see. So yeah, I'm really curious, does the illusion work if it's someone random watching this show? Because I feel like it could. Jinshi's a very pretty guy. And so, like, putting him in a dress like that and having him express the way that he was expressing in that scene, I think it could work. It definitely would work in universe. I'm not doubting that. Like, in universe, Jinshi is supposed to look, I think, even more feminine than the design makes him look. I feel like you can go even a step further, where like people could legitimately mistake Jinshi as a woman in their universe. But yeah, so I really liked that. Thought that was very nice. It was a nice dance, and yeah, it was just like really nice imagery and stuff. I loved seeing Ayla and Aylin be just like dumbfounded by it, just watching it in awe. It was really, really great. I like Shisui a lot. I like her a lot. It's very sad to me that she's a bug girl because I like her so much. And I think as a character trait, that's awesome. And I think in a way it is endearing to me that she's such a big fan of bugs. But just like as someone who like, that's like the worst thing to be into for me. Like I think she could have literally any other hobby and I would love it. I would be super supportive, but it's like it has to be bugs. I hate bugs, and it's very sad to think, like, if I did know Shisui in real life, she probably would be annoyed that I was so disgusted by bugs that she would be trying to put in my hand. I would be like, don't fucking do that again. Like, seriously, don't do that. And so that makes me sad. So yeah, it's like just watching this episode like reminds me, oh yeah, she's into bugs, right? Like I was very excited to see her, and then I was like, oh, that just means we're gonna be talking about moths and shit. But that's fine. I appreciate that she is into it. I think it's, as I said, it's a good character trait to have. And there's nothing wrong with her being into bugs. I'm just so not. I'm just so scared of them that I can't do it. So, and yeah, we also have the rule we found out in this that there's a rule around that's like only men can be doctors. So the women here, they're not technically doctors, you know, they're dealing with stuff. But they're not doctors. I mean, there's also like it reminds me of I remember someone telling a story at some point. It might have been Aaron from the YouTube channel Blind Wave, telling a story about how technically, like, you know, only doctors can deliver babies. You know, a nurse isn't allowed to deliver a baby, but at some point they were having a baby and the doctor didn't show up at time, so the nurses, they like guide the baby. You know, like they're not technically allowed to deliver it, but they have to like they still like guide the baby from the vagina onto the bed, right? That's their job there. So they can't actually do the full thing, but they're basically doing it, you know, but they just have to fit in the loopholes. And so I think it's a very similar thing here, right? Where it's like, okay, women technically aren't allowed to be doctors here. There's a bunch of these women who are very experienced and they work at this clinic and they might give you advice and they might, you know, disinfect everything and tell you what you might want to take and stuff, but they can't technically prescribe you anything or do surgery or treatments or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, here it's like, you know, with the example I gave before about like only doctors being able to deliver babies, there's like probably legitimate reasons that has to be the case. There's probably like an actual reason, a good reason behind that. But here, it's like just women can't be doctors. It doesn't feel like there's a good faith reason behind that. It feels like that's not coming from a great place. But it's another one of those things where they just like mention it in this show and it's like, it's just accepted, you know? No one in the show is complaining about that rule. They're just dealing with it, which is a big part of the theming of this show, is the idea of having to deal with the patriarchy that's in this world, not making it a huge deal, but just like having to live with that, you know, awful society. And I mean, I say that awful society as if it's such a far cry from our society. You know, it's far-ish away, but it's unfortunately not as far away as we'd like it to be. So yeah, and then it ended with the woman in the clinic being like, so that girl secretly makes drugs, does she? And then it ended the episode. Normally that implies, like, whatever's at the end of the episode is implying what the plot of the next episode is going to be. So is the plot of the next episode going to be the clinic lady investigating into Maomao or something? Is she going to get exposed? I don't know. We can find out by watching the next episode. So let's jump into it. This is season 2, episode 6 of Apothecary Diaries. Here we go. This story is a work of fiction. The names of the characters, organizations, and so on are imaginary.
I've been asked for by a lady working at the clinic.
Ah, she wants to expose you.
She wishes. This is my fault. I should
maybe
have
she
been more
wants
careful and taken the medicine that you prepared for me here.
Maybe she
never
wants
would have seen me taking it if I had.
Advice.
Forgive me, my lady.
Does she seek to press charges?
Yeah,
No,
good
my
question.
lady. She wants
To be taught.
all that she requests of us is that we lend Maomao to her briefly.
Or maybe so she can treat someone.
Summoned for undisclosed reasons. Great.
Greetings. I am Shenlu.
Hello, Shenlu.
Even over soothing tea, it's hard not to feel intimidated.
Do excuse my manners when last we met. I
Okay.
didn't know that. I brought you here so I could ask for your aid.
With what?
A girl is sick.
Okay, yeah, to treat a girl.
Servant of Lady LIHUA's. I would like you to make some medicine for her.
Do you have any idea what you're asking
Whoa. Let Maomao speak for
Done by a
herself.
handmaid?
Then you must have reason to risk them.
Maomao?
I'm listening.
Are you certain you wish to hear?
Yes.
Provide me
Maomao
as many
is
details
very
as you are
empathetic,
able.
even though she doesn't act
Thank
like
you
it.
for your kindness.
If a serving girl seeks leave of her duties, she must ask it of the head lady in waiting. She likely did just that and was summarily ignored.
Damn.
growing increasingly concerned. I haven't seen her in half a month now.
Half a month?
Is she still alive?
Becoming a real headache. Is this girl even real?
How much do you have to do, girl?
It's at least worth investigating.
This just seems like a Maomao
A
problem.
strange cough.
Be careful. This type of thing tends to hook you, I know. Make sure you
Yes.
take precautions before you bite. You have a tendency to dive in head first.
I got it. But to start, I could.
The lizard.
What's happening?
Oh my god. The way she chases it like a cat chasing a laser.
What could you want so badly? Here, take a look. Unfortunately, the main body managed to wriggle away.
You got the tail though.
So, I need to study how a severed tail effectively regrows on a...
Oh! Sorry, girl.
What?
Oh, Jesus. Jesus.
Well, save your thoughts. I told you to stay out of it.
She reminds me of Azula.
Sorry. Forgive me, my lady.
Like, she sounded a bit like Grey Griffin.
Lady Shin.
She isn't,
The
but...
doctor from the medical office just arrived.
What does he want now? Showing his face here after letting the prince die.
Oh, God.
I very much doubt that the lady wishes to see you.
Would you like to ask her,
Perhaps,
please?
But even so,
Don't be intimidated by her.
What a wonderful tall woman.
my lady, this visit is sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best. Win the Emperor's love for the sake of our family. Understood? LIHUA? SHIN?
Yes.
Why must fate be cruel?
You heard the cough? The girl's around here.
Storage. Of little consequence.
Storage of who? I mean, what?
Was that always growing there?
Interesting. You're wearing perfume today, Lady Shin. It's been quite a while.
First time she
Forgive
spoke
me.
up.
I should have kept in touch.
Wow, she looks so pretty there.
From back then?
He's running!
Unhand me!
Oh, hell yeah. Taking matters into their own hands. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Just leaving her to die in there.
Please go boil some immediately. Drink this slowly.
Slowly, girl. Slowly. Oh, my God.
Is it not common practice? Quarantining the sick to prevent the spread of illness.
Perhaps you
That's
should have
true.
let her go to
Though
a clinic.
somewhat weaker strain. Not that the death of a single ailing servant girl would weigh greatly on your conscience.
Yeah, exactly.
You are placing incense then to mask the smell of the sickness.
Mm-hmm.
You have strategically placed a sick woman to mask the scent of incense.
Oh. Oh.
Don't touch that!
Oh.
The Crystal Pavilion.
She's behind the
Harbor
incense?
too many secrets. Another poor eunuch is going to get a nasty whipping for his part in this.
Keep your composure.
I love how cool Maomao is right now.
There's no way this girl could have deduced my true intentions.
I don't know.
Do you mind telling me why you're trying to make an abortion-inducing drug?
And how do you know to do that? That's how she was so tall.
On the first visit,
She was
I
like,
would've
oh, this
forgone the
abnormally
disguise.
tall woman.
Since they knew my
I was like,
face,
Maomao's
I
not
was afraid it could
abnormally
take
tall.
longer. Thank you. And for the new clothes, too.
Sure.
She's
I
got a
have
lot
been
of
quite
outfits
busy
lately,
treating
and
the
they're very
sick.
cute.
Care to explain yourself, Lady Shin? These are all banned items, and were to be confiscated
front of
since they could
LIHUA.
be used to make deadly poisons.
She has guts not answering Master Jean Shi.
Yeah.
I'll give her that. Still Pavilion. And Lady LIHUA's cousin.
Cousin, right.
Let's reword the question. What was your intention behind keeping these banned goods?
I don't know what you're talking about. Of course, I didn't want the disease spreading. But I had no idea these were in there too.
It's a decent
So
cover.
tell me,
It's not like she can be punished for quarantining a servant girl. In this place, their life is worth practically nothing.
Yeah, she could do basically anything she wants to the
Meanwhile,
servant girl.
Swords Maid suddenly barges in demanding to see Lady LIHUA. And then
Yeah.
is free to start ransacking my lady's property. To my
Well, she's got a
knowledge,
long
the only
leash 'cause
reason
she's
anyone
so
ever went
smart.
into that place was to feed the invalid. testimony from her. A barely conscious, feverish servant? I'd hardly call that trustworthy.
So you... Furthermore, I suppose that would explain the reason why you still have the smell of incense on you. I should probably rein it in now.
No. Go forward.
But I can't help it. Even I can't hold my anger back sometimes.
Oh shit, we gotta get her being pissed off again.
It was somehow strong enough to seep out of both and cling to you. Mind if I check? Apologies, but I insist on being thorough.
Oh my god.
Wretch! Don't touch me!
Apothecary!
Oh shit.
Given my position, I have no right to lay my hands upon you.
I love the illustration
So
of
we'll allow
Maomao there.
someone else to investigate.
Jinchi, step up.
If there's no objection, I can take it from here.
Oh, LIHUA?
Concubine LIHUA.
I wouldn't dare object to
What would
you.
be her punishment? Even if SHIN's target was solely me.
Hold it.
I finally understand.
It wasn't Gyokyo at all?
Lady LIHUA's outfit. It's similar to the one Lady Gyokyo wears.
Oh.
These types of women were gathered here intentionally. By the head lady-in-waiting.
Right.
Whether you or I would be deemed worthy.
And you're the one who got it.
I was the one that excelled in my studies in etiquette. More than you.
Aw.
I've always... So why does everyone treat you like you're better than me?
I mean, maybe
There's a
because...
huge gap in breast size.
Yeah.
Caliber as a concubine.
That's true.
That somehow makes you more exceptional? I was the one who was raised to become the Empress, and you had to go and steal it from me!
Jeez, man.
Shall I consider that a confession?
Oh, scene is so satisfying. Oh my god.
Never knowing. Curse you!
Oh! Was that Gaoshun? Yes, good job. I knew he'd step in.
Touch me!
I just realized. You're only enamored with the status his love would afford you, nothing more. You're not like Lady LIHUA.
Yeah, yes, destroy her mentally.
Is that the way you felt this entire time, SHIN?
Oh my god. God damn.
As such, I will fire her from my service.
Of course, it's
Is
just...
she voiced
I
by...
see. A mere slap is hardly fitting. Well then, how about
Oh my
this?
god.
Lady, wait.
Why should I?
Well played. These two will never stand next to each other again.
Good, honestly.
That isn't the issue.
Come on, ruining quality silk with my blood. Also, I was given a small clue.
The bush?
The garden bush?
But this shrub only has white blooms.
Okay.
Someone must have picked it out and planted it there.
Oh.
And there's a white powder packed in the seeds that can be used to induce an abortion.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
But they're all over the...
They were trade goods and had been brought in by the caravan, no less.
I doubt she'd confess where she gained that knowledge.
That's what I
even
was
under
wondering.
questioning. Are you suggesting that someone in the rear palace is sharing how oils can be used for abortions?
Well, people were thinking Suire, right? Or she was thinking maybe Suire?
Excuse me?
Huh?
Hello?
White blossoms.
The girl in the shed.
Were you the one
Is she
who...
alright?
Were you the one who
She's
planted
leaving
it
here
there?
to get proper treatment.
I'm so relieved.
Oh.
Nothing.
Okay. 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 I'm trying to remember the name of that voice actress. I want to remember it before the CD's over. Okay, I tried to think of who the voice actress of LIHUA, like what her name is before the ED ended, and I don't think I could come up with it, which is really embarrassing because if it's the woman I'm thinking of, she is someone who I would have been able to name her in half a second, like a year or two ago. Like she's a very famous English dub actor, voice of And this is the person I'm guessing it is, right? This is just a fun, like, my theory, and I'm gonna look it up in a second. But the voice of Makase Kurisu, the voice of Mikasa from Attack on Titan, the voice of Jiro from My Hero Academia. This woman, like, she's a famous voice actor. Why can't I remember her name? I keep thinking Brianna Knickerbocker, but that's not her. Brianna Knickerbocker is Rem from ReZero. Okay, so I'm gonna look it up. So LIHUA is voiced by Trina Nishimura. Yes, okay, it is her. I can't believe I couldn't think of Trina Nishimura. That's so annoying that I couldn't get that name in my head. But I'm very glad that I've only figured it out. I mean, we had LIHUA in the first season. In the first season, I didn't hear it at all, which is shocking to me and tells me again, who directs the Apothecary Diaries dub? Who does it? I need to look that up. Apothecary Diaries dub cast and crew. Because I think because I'm really interested. Okay, so voice director, is that what I'm looking for? Season 1 seems like okay, no, hang on, Sean Gunn, I believe. I think it's Sean Gunn. Interesting. I don't know if I know him. What else has he done? This is like kind of a tangent, but the reason I'm pointing this out is because okay, hang on. No, I found his thing. He also voice directed Buddy Daddies. I watched Buddy Daddies in Japanese, I think. He voice direct. Wait, did I? I can't remember. He did Fruits Basket. That was a great dub. Horimiya I watched in Japanese. Laid Back Camp I watched in Japanese, but I did watch a bit of the dub and it seemed good. So he's got some good things. Ow, Archie, I didn't see the dub of that, but I do want to watch the dub of that. So yeah, he's done some good things. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about it is I think the directing is really good to me because there are several voice actors in here that I know quite well, but they're doing, like, they're getting to do different things, and like the characters have a very specific intention to them, a specific style to them that makes it like so uniquely them that like I almost don't hear, like, for example, Trina Nishimura. There was like one line in this episode. It was when Lady LIHUA started to be more passionate, and she like started to sort of act out of character, you know, like the character was acting in a way that she hadn't normally acted. That's when I heard Trina Nishimura's voice in her, and I was like, holy shit, no, oh my god, that's her. But until then, like, every time Lady LIHUA has been on screen, I've never noticed it's her, which is crazy to me because Trina Nishimura to me had like such a recognizable voice. Like, Makise Kurisu is a character that I love very, very much. I named one of my cars after her. I had a car that I called Kurisu. Or no, I called Makise because it was a red car and Kurisu has red hair. That's how I named my cars. My current car is a silver car. I named it Amelia after ReZero, Silverhaired Witch. But Mikasa is my favorite character in Attack on Titan. I absolutely love Mikasa. And Jiro, I adore Jiro, you know? And like so many other characters. Saki Yanagi from Classroom of the Elite is my favorite character from that series as well. Like, she plays a lot of characters that I really love, and I just love her voice. So I like, her voice is embedded in my head very often, and so I was shocked when I realized that it was her. Also, in the previous season, Lakan's voice actor, Riko Fajardo, there we go. It came to me. I think something happened over the last year, and my brain isn't as quick at coming up with English voice actor names anymore. And it's kind of, I'm getting embarrassed because I used to be really good at it. Rico Fajardo was in the last season as well, and I barely recognized him as well because he was doing a different thing. So like in this, Trina Nishimura for LIHUA is doing a very whispered sort of, her voice sounds very weak, you know, like when she's speaking, it's like she can barely get it out, you know, like she's losing breath by the end of the sentence. That's not the way Trina Nishimura generally delivers lines, so that's a very, very deliberate character choice for LIHUA, and it really makes her character to me. Like I was watching her in this episode, and I was thinking in my head, like I love her voice, you know, I love the way that her voice sounds, and I love that it, you know, this feels like LIHUA's voice, you know, it's not just an anime voice, this is LIHUA's voice. And so, you know, that feels like that's really, I mean, it's really good acting. It also feels like really good vocal direction. I feel like the director has a part in that. And same with Rico Fajardo. They didn't, like, if you showed me Lacan and you, showed me what that kind of character was, I wouldn't have cast Rico Fajardo. I wouldn't have even thought to do it. But he was perfect for it. And he did a performance that, because Rico Fajardo, I feel like I kind of know for, like, positivity type characters, you know, Mirio from MHA and I almost said Tsukasa. It's not Tsukasa. What's his name from Dr. Stone? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the friend guy in Dr. Stone. They're like such friendly, happy guys. Rico Fajardo is really good at that style of voice acting. That tends to be what I think of when I try to think of like voices that he would be really good at doing. Is like lean into his smiliness. But Lacan didn't have a smiliness. Lacan was like sinister sounding, and he was still cast as it and did a great job at it. So the other one, and before I stop talking about the English dub, because I know not everyone watches the English dub, but you know, when people tell me at the start of series like you shouldn't watch the English dub, it's an inferior experience or whatever, like go fuck yourself, because this this is a feeling that I don't get very often. I love this feeling when I'm just like really excited about the voice actors, and I get really connected to these English voice actors. The other thing is I wanted to look up who SHIN was, because I feel like SHIN is another famous voice actor that I couldn't instantly recognize. Now, whoever it is, I feel like she was doing more of a voice that she normally, like closer to a voice that she normally does, but I couldn't quite, throughout the episode, I couldn't quite like crack it. My first thought was that it was Colleen Clickenbeard, but then as it went on, I kind of didn't think that anymore, and now I don't know. So I'm gonna look up who she's voiced by. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Okay, hold on. Okay, SHIN voice. Morgan Lore Garrett. I know her name. I've looked her up before. Why do I know her? I looked her up literally the other day. Like I know I did. I know I did because I remember clicking this page, and I remember seeing that she's Nadeshko in Eurocamp, but that's not what I'm thinking of. What did I literally heard her in something else the other day. She's Rei Todoroki. That might have been it. But no, that wouldn't have been what I looked her up for the other day. I wouldn't have seen that the other day. What was it? What was it? Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Queen Bee. Queen Bee in My Hero Academia Vigilantes, in the most recent episode of Vigilantes. Actually, I mean it's most recent. Oh, and Sylvia in Potionomics. Yes. that's also what it is. Oh yeah, okay. I remember now. Yeah, she is a great voice actor. So I did recognize her, but she wasn't in the vein of the voice actors that I did recognize, which is like I thought she was one of the like ones that I definitely knew from this certain group of voice actors, like really famous English dub voice actors. It wasn't in that group, but she is certainly a great voice actress that I've looked up, I think probably 10 times in the past like year or two. I keep hearing her voice and I keep going like, who is she? And looking her up. So that's a good sign. Like, I always know that a voice actress is really good, or a voice actor. But it tends to happen more with voice actresses, to be honest. I always know when they're really good because I keep Googling them over and over again. And then eventually I have to go like, I gotta remember this person's name, you know? So yeah, it's been her recently. I think the previous person that I remember it being is Felicia Angel. I remember there was so many times that Felicia Angel was in something and I would be like, oh, that voice actress is great, and I would look it up and it was Felicia Angel. So now she's entered my Rolodex in here of voice actors that I really like and think about a lot. Anyway, Jesus, man, I talked a lot about. I'm so sorry for those who don't care about the English dub voices, but if you're like me, I'm the sort of person who, when someone starts gushing about something they're really passionate about, that's when I get most entertained by listening to them. So hopefully you're like me and that you care about that, even if you don't care about the voice actors. But yeah, I just really wanted to go over that. Anyway, let's actually talk about the episode. So yeah, that was a great episode. I love episodes where like someone's done something wrong and they're able to like, you know, expose their lie and then confront them with it and bring them in front of the people who can punish them, you know, like in Jinshi and LIHUA. I love scenes like that where it's like they're confronting her with the evidence and she's like, you don't have anything on me and stuff. Like, that's so satisfying. There's a reason like court dramas and stuff are very popular because there's like nothing like it when you have a proper confrontation scene. It's so satisfying when you can like prove them wrong in real time, you know. It's why Ace Attorney, I love Ace Attorney so much, because that's all Ace Attorney's about, you know. You have to corner someone in a lie and then you get to shout objection and then like prove them wrong over and over again, and then they have a breakdown every time in Ace Attorney, and they always animate them going like no and like pulling out their hair or, you know, smacking themselves over the head with a hammer or doing some bullshit, you know. So good. So I really liked this confrontation in this episode. I thought that was very fun. And I liked the way that we got in there, you know, like, oh, bring the doctor, have the doctor speak for Maomao the entire time. She wears these massive lifts in her shoes so that the woman doesn't immediately, like, the woman, the thing she noticed is she was like, who's this abnormally tall woman? I think I would have noticed her before. And so she doesn't even think to like try to recognize Maomao, because she thinks like, well, I clearly don't know who this person is, because I would have known if there was a woman this tall around, that is, you know, that was around doing whatever, around this doctor or whatever. And so she, like, her immediate thought was like, well, this is a very tall woman, I don't know who she is, and just didn't pay attention to her. And so when Maomao reveals herself, it's like a big shock, because it's like, holy shit, it's that girl. If she wasn't wearing the lifts, maybe she would have been like, who's this person? Green hair, oh, she might be that girl, you know, and then she can put it together and then try to stop things before they happen. So I liked that. It was a nice detail there. But yeah, I like that they go in there and then they like distract her and then hold her back while they go check the shed. And it's good because I mean, they save a girl's life then because of that, which is good because I mean that woman was literally like just putting her in a shed to quarantine her, but really putting her in a shed to die. But then also Maomao was like, but you're doing the opposite of what you did back then as well, as you used to use incense to try to mask the smell of the dead. But now you're using the dead to try to mask, not really the dead, but the sick, to mask the smell of incense. So it's like she's using the same old tricks, but she's just like flipped them around. And I think that's a very interesting, that's a very interesting prospect. And it's a really cool way to like bring it back. You know, like I never would have thought like, oh, the person who's behind getting these oils and trying to like force an abortion, that person is Lady LIHUA's head lady in waiting or whatever. Like, no, I would have never guessed that. And like the twist that she wasn't, as far as I'm understanding it, she wasn't doing it to get Lady Gyokyo at all. She didn't, I imagine, didn't even know Lady Gyokyo was pregnant or anything. It was purely to try to force an abortion out of Lady LIHUA. And that is really, that's a really good twist, honestly, because like we were so focused on the idea of like, we know Gyokyo is pregnant, and so when there's stuff that's like anti-pregnancy, we're not thinking like, okay, well, who's pregnant and can be the target of this? We're thinking, oh shit, Gyokyo is pregnant. How does this person know about that? Turns out she probably didn't. She just knew, like, she wasn't targeting Gyokyo, and that's really interesting. I like that. I think that's very great. But yeah, I found that to be a lot of fun. That was a great episode, and I liked how intense that episode was as well. Like, after I was saying that this season's been chill so far, I was looking forward to an episode like this. I was hoping we would get an episode that was more intense like this one was, and it was great. This satisfied me immensely. I loved this. So yeah, that is Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I will see you next time. Goodbye.